Hello everyone. Today we will read for the elements of water, Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces. And what we will read is for the first quarter moon in Pisces. So we are already in the beginning stages of the cycle of the moon for uh, for this November 30, and so we will try to read a little bit more the tarot reading of what we can expect in this first quarter moon in Pisces. As you can see, since it is the first quarter, only half of the moon can be seen. The other half is still a mystery. So it's a mystery that is unfolding right now. And as you navigate yourself through this cycle of the moon, it's important for us to listen to our feelings and our intuition. That is why the main energy here is honor your feelings. Listen to your feelings. Allow your feelings to speak to you. If you feel anxious right now, recognize that anxiety. If you feel angry right now, recognize that anger. Don't let your feelings be pushed down into your subconscious mind. It might explode like a volcano. Listen to your feelings and be honest about it. Maybe if you need to open your feelings up to other people, maybe you need to. If you need to have some diplomacy to avoid conflict, at least recognize your feeling. Follow this person who spends time alone. She does it before nature and listens to her feelings. Now, let us read from the handbook so that we can gain more insight with this main energy, which is honoring our feelings. Are you putting on a good front, acting like you are bright and breezy, but hiding your real feelings? Rather than acting as though everything is fine, if you are worried about certain issues, it is best to deal with them. Avoid getting so wrapped up in your feelings that you overwhelm yourself and everyone else involved in the situation. If you deny your feelings, you will go nowhere fast with your manifesting. Look at the big picture and use your intuition. Avoid blowing an upset out of proportion. Okay, so listen to your feelings right now, elements of water. Now we will go to our tarot readings and we will start with Cancer. Okay, Cancer, let us see what is in store for you for the first quarter moon in Pisces through our tarot cards. Now, the main energy is listen to your heart or honor your feelings, okay? So, recognize what is being said within you. Okay, so we have the Six of Wands, the King of Swords, and we have the Nine of Wands. Okay. Okay, so you just succeeded. You just had a recent success, and people are recognizing the success that you have. Okay, it's like going to a battle. Okay, it can be a symbolic one. Uh, Most likely, it's a symbolic one. You undergo a certain challenge, and you performed well. You finally succeeded, but it was not easy because you have here the Nine of Wands. So the Six of Wands showed that you succeeded in something. You had a challenge that you faced and you succeeded, and people recognize your success, and people are acclaiming you, and they make you feel, yeah, they allowed you to ride on a horse. So in a certain sense, after the difficulty that you've undergone, somehow you feel a little better now. Maybe you were people have recognized that you have done well, and so they give you some moments of being recognized. Maybe some people even celebrated a little and to congratulate you, and maybe they gave you also some moment to rest a little. But it was not an easy battle that you had undergone. You were wounded in it. It can be in a physical sense for some of you. For some of you, it was maybe in an emotional or in physically not detectable way. Okay, you you were a wounded warrior. So after that, yes, I think you need some time to heal. you need some time to heal, some time to recover. So maybe it will help you to, after all these struggles and succeeding, you need some time to rest, some time to just be on your own, to nurture yourself, maybe process the emotions that you might have had, because you are a little bit guarded right now. With the way the person is looking, he's watching everything, he's sensitive, no? And maybe that is the reason why you are the King of Swords also. You have strong boundaries right now. It's as if nobody can just approach you as you were before. Maybe before you were more open. This time you are more guarded. You you have certain boundaries. Uh, well, I feel it might be, just make sure, try to discern that it will not be too much boundaries, that it will prevent you from living life to the full. You know how it is when you're so guarded also, that the the phrase, the fear of living keeps us from really living life to full. The fear of dying keeps us from living. It's like that. You are so guarded to the point that it constrains your life and prevents you from opening the doors to new friendships or new relationships, or and maybe new opportunities in yourself. Well, it's normal to be guarded after the battle, after the trauma, after encountering the experience. Sometimes you are a little bit guarded. Well, it's a stage that you will have to undergo, which in a certain sense also is beautiful, because with good boundaries, people cannot just take advantage of you, which is also good. But just try to strike a certain balance, a certain somewhere in the middle, not too guarded to the point that people can you can you no longer interact with people. So you try to strike a certain balance. As you can see here, the King of Swords is in the middle, somewhere between accepting people who are, yeah, recognizing the success that you made, but at the same time also being guarded. The king is somewhere in the middle, someone who is mature enough to handle the situation. So you interact with people just as the Six of Wands, who is who recognizes also who is among people, and the people appreciate him, but at the same time also he has his quiet time. So I guess somehow you are maturing now. You're going to somewhere in the middle, where you interact with people, but you also have some of your quiet time. I feel this is important right now, especially after the challenge that you underwent. You need to process also the experience that you had. So it's good to have boundaries. Just a little word of caution of not to having too much walls, that it will prevent you from interacting with people. So just strike a certain balance. Always listen to your feelings. Honor your feelings. Do not just close your eyes to the reality that whatever this experience was, you need to process also yourself. For some of you, you might have been also wounded emotionally in the experience, that you need to process that. You need to listen to your feelings. So you need time alone also. You need time to nurture yourself. So you need some time alone in order to process also the experience that you just had. So try to get a balance between being with people and also spending time with yourself. Maybe you need to really dedicate a certain time each day for yourself. Okay. So let us try to see. We have here the reflection cards for quarter moon, whether first or after, whether the first quarter moon or the last quarter moon. Let us try to see what insights we can get in the stage of the quarter moon. So, if you were to send a werewolf to the moon, would he be a werewolf permanently? Very interesting, no? For example, yeah, when the moon is full, that's when a person becomes a werewolf. Okay, very interesting thing, no? If you send a werewolf to the moon, would he be a werewolf permanently? For example, a werewolf becomes stronger when the moon is full. It is when the effect of the moon is very strong. If you're always on the moon, will you always be strong? Or is it... Yeah, it's quite interesting. No, you see, you are aware. If, for example, you are a werewolf by nature, you become a werewolf in cycles only. It's like this sensitivity with the moon. If you are an intuitive, you're always an intuitive. And it's just, sometimes it's magnified with the moon. So in a certain sense, yes, if you're an intuitive, you're an intuitive. Sometimes there are cycles also in our... You become more intuitive when you wake up at the time of 3 o'clock. You you start to be more sensitive to the effects of the moon when the moon is full. But you've always been an intuitive, you've always been sensitive. So a werewolf transforms into a werewolf when he becomes a moon. When the moon is full. But he is already by nature a werewolf. Maybe he is undergoing transformation. Maybe a stage of transformation where he is not permanently yet a werewolf. But will there come a stage in their life that they will become a werewolf? Well, this is part of the mystery of life, and I think that is what makes life more interesting. We are always in the process of becoming. Like the werewolf, there are times when it's like the werewolf can be like an intuitive. There are times when his intuition is so strong that he's very sensitive to everything, just like the werewolf being transformed into the form of the werewolf. But there are times that they are not very sensitive to. I guess it shows that our human life is like cycles. There are times when we will be in our top form and we will succeed. And there are times also when we need also to withdraw ourselves from the madding crowd in order to recover. So if the werewolf is constantly a werewolf, well, he would be very, yeah, I don't know. For me, it will be not exciting anymore because there's no... For me, I like variety. At times you are on top of your form, and at times you need some rest. Maybe it's because our nature is we are in cycles, and it makes our life more colorful. For me, I prefer like having the cycles of the moon, that the moon is sometimes full and the moon is sometimes almost unseen, or sometimes not seen after. Yeah. I feel the werewolf will continue to have cycles. By nature, everything in the universe has their cycles, and we need to recognize those cycles. We need to be sensitive to those cycles because we need to adapt on which part or which stage we are in our cycle. So yes, there are moments. So we need to remain like the King of Swords, who is in the middle, who is constantly assessing the situation, not only exteriorly but also interiorly, to rise to the occasion when people acclaim you, but at the same time also to have your you time. Well, it's quite challenging, this card, no? Now let's see what is the reflection in the full moon. Maybe you can gain a little bit more from there. At least what I shared, maybe sort of like a jumping board, okay? I swear the reason for full moons is so that gods can more clearly see the mischief they create. Okay, yeah. Sometimes we are placed to the limelight. Maybe you are placed into the limelight so that you will realize also your humanness. That sometimes you feel, I don't deserve the limelight. You know, when people put you in the limelight, you realize you do not deserve it because you recall that during the process of the battle or the process of the challenge, you had some mistakes and some things that you need to work on. So in a certain sense, yeah, it's good to reflect, to listen to your feelings, to also recognize the experience that you had. So I swear the reason for food, I mean, even it makes us see, you know, that even the gods have their mischiefs. they are also mischievous, no? So it's doing those shady things, no? Sometimes, yeah, uh, it's kind of scary also, no? When you do shady things, they will soon come into light sooner or later. Yeah, it's kind of scary, but then again, yeah. So we need to work on ourselves. You need to have your me time to realize the things that we need to improve so that we can correct them before they come into light. Now, if they come into light, you will not be too affected by them because you already corrected your dark sides. So as we go undergo transformation, as we people start to recognize us also, if we work on our dark side, then yeah, we will not be scared anymore by skeletons in our closets. We will just make the skeletons dance because it's already part of our past, because we already processed ourselves in those areas. We already rectified it, and we can humbly accept, okay, yes, I was like that before, but I am working on it now. Okay. Finally, we have here the new moon card, reflection card. We may look at the same moon, but our hearts sing different songs, depending on our inner emotions and perceptions. Okay. Recognize our uniqueness. We need to recognize each other. We might have the similar situations that we are in, but we have different reactions to the situation. Like, for example, it could be that you are not the only one who is being acclaimed for the success. You seem to be just ahead of the team, and there are a lot of people behind you who are also part of the team that succeeded, and these people are also acclaimed. But all of you have different reactions to the acclaim. Some of you might feel, I do not deserve it. Some of you are might be very happy and so proud, no, that they succeeded, and there are different ways to react on it. For you, maybe after that, you just appreciated it. You are a gracious receiver, maybe, and you said, oh, thank you. And then afterwards, you spend more time alone and continue to work on yourself. So there are different ways, and you need to respect that too. So if we cannot judge also the way people react, it's their own way. It's their own way of reacting to the situation, because that is where they are at this their stage of life, it's life's journey. So we need to respect also the way people would react to a situation. If you found yourself in a situation where you are just comfortable and suddenly somebody explodes and hurts everybody's emotions or feelings, well, we just need to recognize that it's part of life, and we need to recognize the uniqueness of these people. So we do not also listen to just to our feelings, but somehow maybe you are also invited to listen to the feelings of other people, to recognize also their uniqueness and the way they react uniquely to their situation. Well, this is what we can see for you right now, Cancer. I hope it has helped you right now. Let us now go to Scorpio. Okay, Scorpio, let us now see what the tarot cards has wants to reveal to you for the first quarter moon in Pisces. Now, remember that our main energy is to listen to your heart, honor your feelings. Okay, so listen. That's a big challenge. You know, sometimes we're so excited we would like to share everything that we want or we have, that sometimes we fail to listen. Okay. We have here the King of Wands and Temperance. Okay, and we have here the Nine of Swords. Okay. When I look at the King of Wands, I see you're somebody who's on fire, and somebody who might have had a lot of life experiences that were quite challenging. I guess this is the reason why it made the King of Wands strong. But at the same time, I'm looking at the face of the Queen of Wands. He doesn't seem to be smiling anymore, and he seems to be have a firm set face. You look at him. He seems a little bit serious, like you know. I don't know. It might not resonate with you, but I think of a grouchy person right now at this moment. I don't know what triggered some of you. Maybe some of you are a little bit grouchy right now. Maybe a life situation just made you something like that. And since you are somebody who is always on fire, you don't mince words and you don't mince expression. You are very spontaneous. When you're angry, you're angry. When you're happy, you're happy. I feel that there's a certain candor in you. You don't hide emotions. When you're angry, you're angry. And I guess this is one of those things about fiery persons. No, if they could easily explode, but at the same time also they can immediately apologize afterwards. In a certain sense, I kind of like dealing with people like this also, because what you see is what you get. And when they're angry, they don't hold grudges afterwards. They might explode, but then afterwards they will, you know how it is when people would just argue, suddenly argue, and then after they argue, they sit down and watch the television together, watching the football and trying to see who's winning. And then later on, they are laughing already together, something like that. And I think there's that beauty also in being with fiery people. They're very spontaneous. If they explode, then later on, they also have the humility to accept, okay, I made a mistake. But they sometimes express it in weird ways. Like, for example, they explode right now and then they will not talk to you. But after 1 hour, they will ask you, "Could you please pass me that?" That's in their indirect way. That's already their indirect way of saying, "I'm sorry. Can we be friends again?" So sometimes they might not say directly, "I am sorry," but they will try to reach out to you and maybe ask you to do something for them, and then it's already indirectly they're saying, "I'm sorry. Can we begin again?" So it's like that. So I feel some of you are so fiery that you've been through fire also. You've been through a lot of experiences, and well, it's the grouchiness is a passing thing. But it seems that in your past experiences, there are still certain things that are lingering right now, and for some of you, it makes you find difficulty sleeping. Maybe you need to process certain things. For those of you who had undergone certain experiences, now this can also symbolize that in the near future or at this very moment, you are experiencing something that is causing you difficulty of sleeping. We have here the temperance. The temperance is trying to get a certain balance in life. I mean, that is you. Somebody who has that gift of temperance is somebody who always balances things in their life. They constantly assess their life situation. And for example, if you feel that yeah you are grieving right now, you do not let this become a festering wound. You address it immediately, and in order to attain this balance that you are maintaining. So I feel that for some of you, you have a personality that tries to take the middle road and try to make your life not too dramatic. Well, you are dramatic, you are fiery, but I mean, you don't dwell too much on certain things. Like for example, a fiery person, they explode, then afterwards they quiet down again. And Scorpio is like that also. Yeah, by nature, Scorpios, if they feel they are threatened, they sting. After they sting finish, they just explode, boom, and then they finish. So in a certain sense, it's like that. And this one is quite abnormal for your nature when if you will constantly dwell on something that will keep you from sleeping. Maybe this can be a temporary thing, and so maybe that's why we have here the temperance card, so that you will not dwell in the Nine of Swords. If, for example, right now you are having the experience of the Nine of Swords where you are filled with anxiety, filled with troubled thoughts, and you couldn't sleep, then your card of temperance invites you to address this one immediately and not to dwell in this one. You need to listen to the situation, try to see how can you address, how can you make it through the fire. Like the King of Wands, there is a salamander here. A salamander is somebody who survives from the fire, but the salamander cannot stay also long in the fire, because if he stays long in the fire, he will get cooked. Even if he can withstand it up to a certain point, if he stays too long, he will get cooked. So you cannot also stay too long in this area. You have to recognize, yes, I am right now in an area where I have difficulty sleeping because there are certain anxieties. For some of you, I think, yeah, it can be also an illness. It can be also an illness because this person is bedridden, so they might have an illness right now. And I think you cannot just let it be a festering wound. You need to address it. So if you are sick, then you need to help yourself get healed. If you need to consult, you consult, and then you try to follow the advice that is given you so that you will be able to recover soon. At the same time, if you have a problem that is keeping you awake at night, then you need to maybe address it so that it will not be a festering wound. It will not dwell. Because if you're going to maintain the middle road, that is, a middle road is not in hyperactivity and not in too much depression. You know, it makes me think of manic depressive. Okay, if some of you are having manic depressive situations right now, make sure that you take your medicines. No, the medicine that you take allows you to maintain in the middle road. As long as the medicine is able to maintain the balance in your system, then you are able to maintain the middle road. Now, don't take it as a professional advice. Okay, it's just that you try to maintain the middle road. If you need to take medicine, take medicine. Don't allow yourself to constantly travel from the extremes, from explosive, and then from depression, from hyperactivity to depression, and you try to get the middle road, because when you go to the extremes, it's not only you who is affected, but also the people around you. So I guess the invitation here is, yes, you are right now very fiery, but at the same time also there is a part of you that is troubled right now. Maybe you need to resolve the trouble, this one, and then if you have anger, because it can be that you right now, you see the face of this person, he looks very angry and grouchy. So if you are angry and grouchy right now, there has to be something that you need to address. You need to listen to your feelings also. You ask yourself, okay, recognize, okay, I'm grouchy right now, I accept. Okay, you need to accept, you need to listen to your feelings, you need to honor your feelings, right? I'm angry right now. You recognize, okay, I'm angry right now. Okay, don't talk to me right now, I'm angry. Okay, later, maybe after 1 hour, you come back. Okay, it's like that. You recognize your anger, listen to your anger, and then you try to ask yourself, why am I angry? Okay, what made me angry? Okay, maybe when you recognize, sometimes knowing what is causing what we are feeling right now is already 50% of resolving what it is. Okay, so if you are angry right now, recognize your anger, and then if you can find out what caused the anger, then maybe you can address it. At the same time, if you feel depressed right now, if you feel you cannot sleep, if you feel troubled right now, or if you are feeling very weak right now, then you accept also that I feel depressed right now. I feel I cannot sleep. I'm so troubled. Okay, I recognize that. Now, what is causing this one? Okay, why am I unable to sleep? Why am I so anxious right now? Why do I feel depressed? Okay. Sometimes when you ask the question, sometimes the answer comes immediately. Sometimes the first thought, okay, you listen to your intuition. The intuition usually is the first thought that comes to your mind. So when you ask yourself, why am I angry? Immediately the thought came, because somebody ate your favorite food, which you were planning to eat later on. Okay. Immediately. Sometimes your intuition, the first thought that comes to you sometimes is actually the right answer to your question. So if you're angry right now and you ask yourself, why am I angry? The first that comes to your mind, listen to it. The first answer that you receive, listen to it. It can be the right answer to your question. So at the same time, why cannot I sleep at night? Why am I feeling so depressed right now? Listen to the first thought. Maybe that is the answer to your question. And address it. Address it. Don't stay in the extremes. Try to take the middle road, which is temperance. Somebody who's able to maintain things. No? At the same time, you see this person is listening to her intuition, but at the same time remaining grounded. So she also listens to her common sense. Okay, or he also listens to his common sense. You listen to your common sense because sometimes the answer to the problem is actually very simple, but we make it complicated because of our analysis and everything like that. Sometimes the answer is so simple. For example, I'm angry at that person. Maybe all you have to say is, Can we begin again? Sometimes it's like that. So you need to address that and try not to go to the extremes, I guess. I guess this is the message for you right now. Uh, there are moments when you are very fiery, for some of you grouchy, and then there are also moments when you are also a little bit depressed or something. So try to recognize what is the cause of these things, and as far as possible, do not dwell in it. If you find yourself becoming too depressed already, do something. Go for a walk, do some exercise, do other things that will take you away from this pervading pervading energy of depression. Try to keep yourself busy, but always remember, all these things will pass. You might be grouchy right now, then later on you can watch TV with the person you got angry with. Later on, then you can start laughing again. But it takes humility also to say sorry. Okay. The same here also. Sometimes, the problem is we expect other people to say sorry to us. And so we expect, he committed wrong to me. He's the one who, it's his mistake. He should apologize. And what if they don't apologize? Then they continue with their life. They're already very happy and you're still miserable. So sometimes you try to see also, is it worth it? Is it worth my depression? Is it worth my sleepless night? You try to see also the gravity of the situation. Um, Sometimes when you forgive them, you set yourself free also. So if it is a problem of forgiveness, maybe you need to address these things. So I feel you know more your life situation. The important thing is you listen to your emotions. If you're angry, recognize that you're angry, and then tell yourself, what caused my anger? Then maybe you can start to move forward from that. If you are depressed right now, you ask yourself, you recognize, I am depressed right now. I honor my feelings. I feel depressed. I feel hurt. I feel betrayed. Okay, I recognize that. Okay, then you try to ask yourself, what caused this feeling? Then maybe from there, you can slowly move forward and try to attain this balance, which is temperance. When you are in the middle road, every once in a while you can go to a little extreme for a while, and then you can come back again, and then you can go to the other extreme and come back again. It's nice to be in the middle road. When you are in the middle road, you can play between those emotions back and forth, and you still maintain this one, a healthy middle road. Because extremes, I feel they disrupt the normal flow of our system. If you go to the extremes, you can go to the extreme, but up to a certain point. Like the salamander, he can withstand the fire for a certain point of time, but too much of it, he'll get cooked. So the same also, if you go to the extremes always, something will happen to your system. Like for example, if you're always angry, it can damage your heart. If you're always depressed, no, it can damage also your nervous system. Well, don't take it as a professional advice. It's just a sharing of a friend. Okay, so I guess the invitation here is to take the middle road. Well, anyway, let us now try to see if we can get some reflections. Now, this is a reflection card for the quarter moon, whether first quarter moon or last quarter moon. Let's try to see what insights we can get from these reflection cards. Well, Scorpio. Scorpio is very, very spontaneous. No? He can immediately sting you if they are not happy or they feel threatened by you. Ping! Okay. I am like the heaven, like the moon, like a candle by your glow. I am all reason, all love, all soul, by your soul. Quite difficult for me. I am like the heaven, like the moon, like a candle by your glow. Okay. I am all reason, all love, all soul, by your soul. Make me think so. It makes me think of the divine. It makes me think of the spirit, of the source, of God. In our life, He can be our heaven. He can be also our mystery, like the moon. And He can be the candle that lights the darkness of our life. He is the one that enlightens us and brings us back to reason. Okay. He also makes us feel love in those moments when other people couldn't make us feel love. He knows our soul, and He's the life of our soul. with Him in our life, our cup overflows. Maybe you need God also. Well, maybe this is an invitation for you. Uh, of course, we need God in our life. We need the source in our life. We need the universe in our life. But what I mean is maybe this is an invitation of God to deepen more your relationship with Him. I think that is more of that. When you are also in the presence of the divine, always you see here, the divine, the Trinity is in the heart of this angel. Then you are able to maintain also a balance in life. Okay, so I feel this is an invitation for us to deepen more our relationship with the divine. Okay, Scorpio, very interesting reading. This is for the full moon reflection cards. Shoot for the moon. You might get there. Okay, it's true. I mean, aim high. So if you miss that point, you will still be a little bit lower, but still you are high. Okay, so shoot for the moon. You might get there. Sometimes also, it's like, for example, you see a fruit in the tree. You try to poke the tree. If the fruit falls down, then you're very lucky. If the fruit didn't fall down, at least you tried. You can try a stone again and try to do it. Boom. Okay. The important thing is you try. Sometimes we don't get the things we like in life because we didn't try. Sometimes all you have to do is to try. And who knows, you might just get it. So sometimes if, for example, you have a crush on somebody, sometimes all you need to do is to express yourself, and who knows, they might say yes. Okay. If they say no, at least you tried. Okay. Okay. So it's like that. Okay. Let's see. One last. This one is for the new moon. Okay. Also for that part when you cannot see the moon. Okay. The lovers of God never run out of patience, for they know that time is needed for the crescent moon to be full. Yes, when you are close to the divine, you're not in a hurry. You just allow the divine to guide you, to unfold the mystery before you. There's a sense of beauty when you wonder at the gifts that the divine gives you in your life. Because the divine oftentimes gives it gradually. So you savor the experience, you savor the moment. You are not in a hurry. You know how it is when it took you some time before you get something, you cherish it even more. If immediately it's boom, there, it's immediately there before you. Sometimes you take it for granted also. So the lovers of God never run out of patience. Yes, there is a saying, in God's own time. Yeah. For they know that time is needed for the crescent moon to become full moon. You follow the cycle of life. Okay. So there are times when you are angry, you recognize that anger, and then later on you know that it will be gone. You are right now depressed, you are having difficulty. You recognize that right now you are feeling depressed and you have difficulty. But you also tell yourself, this too will pass. Everything will pass. So, that's it for now. Scorpio. Let us now go to the final water sign, which is Pisces. Okay, Pisces, let us now see what the tarot cards has installed for you for the first quarter moon in Pisces. It's in Pisces right now. Okay, in your realm. Now, I was just looking at this crystal ball just before we started walking. I started this tarot reading, and I saw, and I still see, a person. Before I thought she was holding a banner, but I think she's holding a candelabra or something. Okay. And before I thought she was riding a horse, but now I see her just standing and she's holding a candelabra. Okay, so candelabra. So if that resonates with you, maybe there's a message for you here in this video. Okay, just I saw a person holding a candelabra, a candle holder. No, yeah. Makes me think of the you know how this, I cannot remember this one, the Jewish celebration sometime now, right now, wherein there's sort of like several things that like looks like a candelabra or something. It's like a Jewish celebration with these things. No, several. Well, if you're Jewish, or if um, something to do with it looks like a candelabra. I cannot forget. I cannot remember anymore the term that they use in this celebration, where they, yeah, well, Jewish celebration. So if take it if it resonates with you. Okay, there must be something for you in this video. Okay, so we have here the Four of Cups, and then we have here the Six of Pentacles, and then we have here the Four of Wands. Did you notice? You see here, there's this is a Roman number, no? And 1 and 5. So 5 minus 1 is 4. And then 5 plus 1 is 6. And then again, 5 minus 1 is 4. So I'm thinking maybe number 1 and number 5 seems to be important to you right now. Okay, 1 and 5. Okay, so we have here the Four of Cups. You seem to be in a contemplative mood right now. And it's as if it's not really that you are not happy with your situation right now, but it seems like, you know how it is when it's just one of those ordinary days, the run-of-the-mill days. You know how it is, you know, when things are just happening as it is, as if no excitement, no anything, and then suddenly the universe comes out with a hand, boom, and gives you a beautiful gift. No? So it's like suddenly out of the blue, from a somewhat ordinary day, the universe pops up and gives you a gift, and you are so overjoyed with it that you are sharing it with the people around you. It gave you a certain joy that somehow you are sharing it with you. And whatever this gift is, it will give you stability, and also the people around you stability. It will lead to celebration. For some of you, it can be somebody coming into your life, and because of that, this person will make you generous, and then later on, you might consider settling down with this person, because this is a wedding celebration. Or it can be also that the universe will give you a gift that will allow you to be generous to the people around you, and you will encounter it in a wedding celebration. Okay. These are the possibilities we can see here right now. But it's as if whatever this gift is, when you receive it, it will bring color to your life. So, you know, just before this time, I was reflecting about adventure. No, adventure is, in my reflection, this just before this reading, adventure is when your life is black and white and suddenly it turns technicolor. Okay. So your life activity is like a black and white, and then suddenly it suddenly becomes colored. Okay, I feel that is adventure. So here it's like right now you were in a black and white kind of living, huh? And then suddenly the universe pops up and gives you a gift, and suddenly it becomes technicolor, it becomes colorful. Okay, I think that is what's adventure. So it depends also on if you recognize it as an adventure. Other people might consider it as adventure already, but for you, you might say, nah, it's just an ordinary day. So it's like that. So it depends also on your disposition. For example, it can continue to be like an ordinary day if you will not recognize the gift that the universe is giving you as a gift. You know how it is when sometimes just ordinary. Then somebody gives you something, and then you consider it's just ordinary. So it didn't change your disposition. But if, for example, you said ordinary, somebody comes along, gives you something, and this is beautiful. This brings color to my life. Suddenly everything changes. So it depends also on how you will perceive what you will receive. So you can continue to be depressed, or you can continue to be just okay, yeah, ordinary thing. Even if the universe gives you a gift, if you do not recognize it as a gift. But if you recognize it as a gift, then suddenly your life will change. Suddenly there will be color. From black and white, there will be color, and there will be celebration. And you will be a cup overflowing, and the people around you also will benefit in your good disposition. So it can be like that. Uh, Suddenly, the universe gives you something that wakes you up and makes you feel loved, makes you feel fortunate, and then because of that happiness, it overflows and it makes other people smiling. You see this person receiving the coins from this person who seems to be wanted balance. You know, in there, yeah, this person is smiling. I like this one, this balance right now, because this balance is like, um, you're generous, you're not selfish. You receive something, and then you say, I should share it with other people also, so that I will not be the only one who's happy, but also the people around me is happy. So you share it generously with them, and somehow maybe you felt also that when they are happy, you are also happy. Their happiness is your happiness also. Their fulfillment is also your fulfillment. And I think this is a very generous and less selfish way of looking at life. Like, I also find joy when other people are happy, and their happiness is also my happiness. So when you see somebody succeeding, instead of being jealous to that somebody, you find joy and saying, "Yes, come, let's celebrate." You celebrate life more when you consider the happiness of other people as also your happiness. Quite beautiful. Hmm. So keep your eyes open. The universe might be giving you something already and you're not overlooking it, and it's no longer, you might miss the joy of receiving a beautiful gift. Okay. You can just consider it as an ordinary thing that you just received and you just deserve receiving it, something like that. Or you can look at it as something beautiful that you just received from the universe. This spirit of thankfulness. You know how it is when you appreciate even the smallest things as a gift. Suddenly everything becomes lively, and even the people also catch your energy. So this is what I can see for you right now, Pisces. Now let us try to see if what the reflection card says for you right now. This is for the first quarter moon or the last quarter moon, but it's in the quarter moon reflection cards. Okay. By the way, these reflection cards are usually passages that I get in the internet. You know, the quotes, the popular quotes that you usually have. I get them and I compile them together and form reflection cards from them. It might be, it might inspire you also to gather some quotes from the internet and compile them into reflection cards. It's good to pick up one every morning or at the night or at night time, just to loosen up things, no? Okay. So it says here by Ayazawa. But even when the moon looks like it's waning, it's actually never changing shape. Don't ever forget that. Okay. So it's like life. Sometimes you feel like you're waning. Sometimes you feel so tired you're like a candle that is slowly dying away. But it doesn't keep, or it doesn't change the fact that you are a wonderful person. You might be tired right now and you might not be in your top form, but the potential is there. You still have the gifts. It's just that you need some time to rest, and then afterwards up and about again, and then you start again changing the world through the gifts that the universe has given you. So it doesn't change anything. You might be tired right now. You might not be excelling right now, but you have the potential. It's there. It doesn't change anything. There are times when you will be shining. There are times when you are accomplishing great things, and there are also times when you just want to rest and be quiet, and just be an observer. So sometimes it's like that. So it doesn't change anything. Sometimes also when things are going your way, you're very very happy, and then suddenly you become depressed because things are not going your way. But whether things are going your way or not, you can always be that cheerful you that is by nature in you. For example, I remember they had this picture of being proactive. There's this person holding an umbrella under the rain. Okay, so and it's like, you can still remain dry even when it is raining because you have an umbrella inside you. At the same time also, even when it is gloomy outside, even if your environment is gloomy outside, you can still be sunny because you're always with a sunny disposition inside you. So sometimes you always maintain that certain stability in you. If you are by nature peaceful or mature or matured, even if the environment changes, you'll still the same you. You can still be proactive. So proactivity is not being affected by the environment because you have that good weather inside you. Something like that. Okay. Now, this is reflection cards for the full moon. During the day, the sun causes wounds, and in the night, the moon heals the wounds. Okay. The mountain waits all day for the night when his moon will be finally bright. Okay. It's true. I mean, you go out at the daytime when the sun rises, you go out and face the adventures of life in the world. At the end of the day, you go back to your solitude in order to recuperate, maybe remove the negative energies that you have accumulated through the day and try to recharge yourself amidst the beauty of nature. Maybe under also the beauty of the light of the moon and maybe the twinkling stars. When that daytime you go and face adventure, you need some time also, maybe at night time, or maybe 3 o'clock or 4 o'clock in the morning, in order to recharge yourself. You also need some me time to nurture yourself. Allow nature to nurture you. Allow the moon to heal you. Wait for the moon to be finally bright. Wow, at the end of the day. Wow. It's like the mountain. The mountain is very strong. You are a very strong person and you are able to find time in order to allow yourself to recover. Okay, this is for the new moon reflection cards. With freedom, books, flowers, and the moon, who could not be happy? Okay, so see? You appreciate the little things in life. Appreciate the sense of freedom that you feel. Appreciate a good book. It's good to sometimes curl, especially when it's a little bit cold. No, you cover yourself with a lot of blanket and curl in a cozy bed or curl in a cozy couch and just read a book or just stop and smell the roses. If you do not have time to cuddle and read a book, you just in between work and job, you just go out into the garden or just go for a short walk and just wander in the beauty of nature and maybe smell the flowers. Or sometimes at night time after a very long work, when you start to go out of your office and you start to walk home, you look at the sky and maybe you can get to see the moon or the stars. It's learning to spend those short moments to stop for a while and appreciate the finer things in life. Even in the most difficult situation, you can always stop and take a deep breath and enjoy that moment of taking that deep breath, and then you continue again. I remember there was a time when we were serving people and there were a very long line of people that we need to serve and we just couldn't stop. Even if we are already tired, we wanted to stop, but there's still a lot of people who are asking for assistance. And so sometimes I just look at the long line of people still waiting, I take a deep breath, take a sip of water, smile, and continue serving. Sometimes all it takes to do is to take a deep breath, take a sip of water, and then continue our work. Well, I hope this reading has helped you right now, Pisces, and I hope it has given you some insights. I look forward to seeing you again next time. The readings I've made for the first quarter moon in Pisces has been helpful for me also. It has given me some insights. It's like also taking the time to watch the moon or the stars just for a short moment and then go back again, facing the world's adventures. Okay, so keep your eye open for the gift. Until next time, may God continue to bless your ways.